So in the meantime, I'm thinking of some cultural change because of the way that you just explained.
We have a lot of change going on.
Right.
So we had been Hewlett-Packard, and Hewlett-Packard was originally hardware, and then was hardware and software. And it had personal products and enterprise products, and it split into Hewlett-Packard Inc. and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Hewlett-Packard Inc. being the personal products, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise being the enterprise products. And so that was one division. And the next split was the one. So Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, that affected me anyways, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise split into hardware and software, and they spun off their software division, and that merged with Micro Focus, so we did a spin merge with Micro Focus, and the Hewlett-Packard part was bigger than the original Micro Focus part, but now we're all one company, Micro Focus, and it is different culturally, we're doing things differently, things are changing.
And how your agile processes, practice has effect on team culture.
So the Agile effect on team culture, I think the main thing that I notice is that it makes people talk more than they would have ordinarily. They communicate better. We set up times and places for them to actually get together and talk about stuff, which they all are introverts somewhere along the spectrum will just kind of not do that unless they have to. But some people just love it. So it varies, from person to person, of course.
What about the transparency? How did that affect affecting the entire? How we're talking about global enterprise?
Some people really don't like transparency because, obvious reasons, I guess. And other people really seem to like it a lot. If you're not going to get in trouble for not, completing this thing in the 2-story points you originally said it would, people are happy with that. They like that. If you get in trouble for not completing it, then they don't want that. So it's all a matter of how does management respond if you don't meet your commitment, if people are going to be happy to actually give their real status.
So does the Hewlett-Packard portion of Micro Focus still believe in external reference specifications and internal maintenance specifications?
Can you answer that question, Lee?
Those terms didn't really come up. Those kind of,
Yeah, they don't
they got
say
left by
anything
the
to
wayside.
Well, that helps explain why they think they can get away with why they don't like accountability.
Yeah.
Because the old HP, every piece of software, every piece of hardware had to produce those 2 documents.
Those went, by the time we came into HP, those terms were pretty much not in use. So,
Now on the software side, it turned out what passed for IMSs was really bad. Right? And TRSs were sort of okay. That was sort of like documenting your API. But it turned out that over time the gap between what hardware people thought was adequate and what software people thought was adequate was drastically different.
There's definitely different cultures and methodologies. And I think that's changed even over I've been doing software for 40 years and it's seen it change.
So how many of your engineers know what CX wrap is?
I couldn't say.
Not very many.
Well, okay, well, because what people got smart about is that they ran the standard tools, including CX wrap, and they said, okay, this is my call graph, right? So I can tell you, and now I can write something about what each of the major functions does, because it appears, right?
This is a Java application, so.
So when they switch languages, it turns out many of the favorite tools in C disappeared, right?
That's right.
One of the good reasons to want to switch languages, eh?
There we go. One reason to switch languages.
Right.
All right, so it looks like we've slowed down our adding our notes now, and so let's go through them. Who would like to read what went well? Looking for a volunteer. Lee.
I'll read them. Put on my good glasses for the.
All right.
Hope
Lee,
I can read
good
it.
glasses.
All right.
As a former manager, he's always willing to spread good news, right?
The one I've just put, I'll admit this, I wrote this, Rosemary the Miracle Worker, the fact that she got these teams pulled off, it's pretty amazing.
Yay! Thank you.
Excellence always trumps process.
All right.
Manage, okay. Merge teams across time zones, manage teams across time zones.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like it went well. Iterative, interactive, good questions, good answers to good questions. The team succeeded in completing planned work. They, have to read it. They made progress.
That's what it says, yeah.
Okay. Accommodate so many different demands.
Remember what?
I should put one herding the cats. Yeah. You know anything about cats? I think you do.
I have cats.
Right.
For pets.
Great overview, good answers to questions. Teams learned Agile even if it maybe didn't turn out as planned. Program coordination between teams and managing dependencies seemed to get done.
Very good, thank you. All right, now, what did not go so well? You want to take that one? All right.
Sure.
I'm standing up.
So I used to do a lot of testing, so I'm used to giving a lot of bad news.
Ready for it.
All right. So, no evaluation of variables affecting velocity, productivity. There's no technology roadmap. So you call them functional architects, but from a hardware perspective, they're dysfunctional architects. Because on the hardware side, every architecture has a technology roadmap with it, and they didn't say squat about technology roadmap, as far as I can tell.
They may have, I didn't present everything.
That's fine, but you know, as I watch your face, I'm saying this, it's like, oh yeah, they could have done a better job of that. and it turns out that, you know, knowing if they're using all the good Java tools, if it's a Java thing, there's a long list of good Java tools that are now available now. Not as good as C, but still huge, right?
We're improving that way. We're using more and more of those kind of things and making them part of our process and automating them, so that's good.
Yeah. Just pointing out that you know, on the hardware side, we can use Verilent, we got, you know, Specman, we got a whole, there's this list of things we're counting on from external vendors working well, and we tell you in advance.
Very good.
PI, WLXL was painful, did not go so well. I have no
I
idea.
agree. You're doing my program planning in Excel.
Oh!
It was very painful, it got so well, we dropped it.
Fine
You know,
tool that
after a
everyone
while,
uses
just
on
did it all in the Word doc.
a regular basis. Mindset diversity of team players. Short on management buy-in and support. Time, 2, I think. Planning took too long. Time for planning took too long.
It surely did.
All right, so that's what did not go well. Hey!
All right. Now suggestions, how can we do better? Who would like to read those off?
All right.
Okay, number 1, push for more trained deputies at remote sites.
Yeah, I want to get them all trained. I'm requesting training for them.
Okay, investigate AHA, and there are others. I
Okay,
added that as a portfolio planning tool, and it does it interfaces with Jira if you want to, although you have to make sure it's all in alignment. and that
very
takes
good,
time.
thank you.
Investigate more of Google Docs. Jira is critical data for planning. How would Google Docs, Google Sheets help with the collaboration efforts in doc
The
plans?
team is leery of having something that anyone could theoretically access. They think it's not secure.
There's an enterprise version of Google Docs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it costs money. Sorry.
Well, we can look into that, spending money on that as well as other things.
But then you still have to get it all back into Jira, so.
Yeah, it all has to go back into Jira somehow.
Yeah.
So something that interacts with Jira would be great.
So how better? Was solely from developer point of view? Were business objectives met? Did teams follow through in definition as they confidentially plan?
Confidently planned.
Okay.
We're going to see.
Convince management in the benefit of an interest, the benefit of investing in a vertical board for the project.
Yes, we
Virtual
have to do
board,
that.
excuse me.
Do that
Identify,
now.
sorry. Identify what support, test and help. TO,
That's
You
the
would
problem
help
with
with the
having
author of
these
that.
things, right?
Identify what support, tools, help, RTE, that's her
Okay.
needs, and
Yes.
request from management and team. For instance, get team members to volunteer to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross-sharing of team approaches. Interested in how backlog management works, i.e. how fixed were the sprint contents in advance. And then flyer book people in for
Planning meeting.
planning meeting.
Oh, they would love that. Fly me out there too.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, Fly Road Mary has to be.
All right, then, thank you very much for your suggestions and your comments. I really appreciate them. Now, do you have any more questions, or shall we can have more questions if you like, or we can move along.
Great.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So how did you manage that program board that some people didn't want? And how did you manage all those dependencies, which was so textual in all those SharePoint docs?
Right, so what I did, I had done a couple of other PI plannings, which I did have the board. So I know how that works, and I have used it before, and have that in my head. And what I did was, where is it? Come on, there we go. I have here this document called Release Plan Presentations. Open. And in this one, we have, now, this team Sparks would have had a row all the way across, right? And each product increment, they would have put their work. And instead, I have vertical columns, this is their, so they just have this piece. This is their section of that row for the first iteration. And I have the same thing for iteration 2, so that would have gone like this across the board on their row. And the same with the other teams. So each one has their own little table for each iteration, which would have been equivalent to their cells on the program board. Does that answer your question?
So you lose the visual kind of
Right,
coolness
you
of the
don't
program
have the
board.
beautiful
You get-
visualization of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Well, so the second part of the question was, so how do you manage the dependencies when dependencies are constantly changing as things are constantly changing?
That's why we have people. So we can identify some dependencies at the beginning, right? We can figure them out, and we can say, well, I'm going to need this, I know I'm going to need this. And I talk to you, and you say, okay, I need this by this date, and you're like, I can't possibly. And so we work it out. We figure out something that we can do. And as we're going along, we're going to figure out 14 other dependencies that we didn't know. We just have to talk to each other, right? So you have your daily stand-ups, you have your Scrum of Scrums, where all the Scrum team leaders are, Scrum Masters are meeting and discussing things that they have encountered in their Scrum teams, and this is where you would discuss those new dependencies that came up. Yeah.
So the belief is that the discovered dependencies, none of them are showstoppers. So that you
It might
No,
be.
something could be.
well, that's why I asked, because if you believe that at the main meeting you found what you thought were almost all the showstoppers, right? Then his concern about finding additional dependencies is, yes, the work expands, but it's not like we can't build it anymore.
Right.
it's manageable.
Yes.
Yeah, you
So-
kind of, that's kind of your, you know,
You're-
you vote at the
you're-
end of the thing, you're voting,
You're
you're
voting,
betting.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm 80% confident, or I'm 70% confident.
Yeah.
5 minutes? Okay. 5 minutes, guys, go ahead.
So when you're filling out the row for however many iterations you're going to do, you're more or less filling in their backlog. Were you considering that to just sort of be at the epic level, or were you
Yeah.
filling them in, and then what did you do? I mean,
It's
if-
not
if a
individual
critical
task
issue,
level.
but if a dependency or a surprise came up somewhere in the middle, did you rejigger all of the subsequent backlogs and everything? So you're just
So
constantly
this is a plan
remanaging.
for the backlog. It is not like set in stone, and as you finish the work, things are going to get shifted around a little bit.
Yeah.
But you commit to this other team that you're going to deliver them by this.
Did you have partially filled in backlogs, or
Yeah.
was it more just high level, these are the epic?
We have partially filled in backlogs, but I think it's pretty standard to just have the PI objectives. I'm going to have this feature ready for demo by this iteration.
When the program, when you get to use a program board and it's actually working, it's kind of cool because people will make a first cut at what they think they can do. And then you discover a new dependency and like, oh, geez, well, that's going to have to move there, and this is going to have to move over here. And it all happens, it's very visual, it happens in real
And it
time.
happens really quickly.
Yeah.
You'd be
And it
surprised.
converges, you know, it's never perfect, but it converges fairly quickly when you get to do it. Now, this has got to be harder than this.
It's much harder to do it this way. It took much longer to do it this way. You know, to go through this, we went through all the dependencies one, team at a time, rather than just the teams walking up to the board and just doing it quickly together. So it took several hours instead of like half an hour.
Right. Yeah, because like my old team used to be a team that everybody was dependent on, and people
Yeah.
would put stuff up there, and we'd go up there and like, what are you guys talking about? We can't do that by then. And we would sort of work it out, we'd sort of argue in real time, but, and after an hour of that, the boxes would all be in different places, but, it would all be kind of sort itself out.
Yeah.
Usually.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much. I appreciate your listening to my
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.